The NBA Conference Finals are halfway completed with the New York Knicks. I'm not a fan, by the way. The New York Knicks clinching their ticket to the NBA Finals. On the Western side, Thunder and the Spurs are not up at 2 games apiece. We were talking about it on From Nosebleeds. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Which one do you want to go first? You want to go your Spurs or the Knicks?
Let's wrap up with the Knicks series. I mean, it's kind of the biggest news out right now. Not the greatest of series, but it's something we need to talk about. So, just first off, Cole, what do you think about the Knicks going to the finals?
Hey,
Obviously, first time since
I'm
1999, huge
I've
deal.
I've never. I always told my dad, I was like, I'm never going to believe it, or I never thought I'd see the day when I'm witnessing the New York Knicks in the NBA Finals after growing up my entire life as a basketball fan, and the New York Knicks being like the butt of every joke possible. They're in the NBA Finals with arguably underdog mentality, but probably the favorites to win. They're the hottest team in the league right now. Like they have gone back-to-back sweeps. They haven't lost a playoff game or just a game in a month since they lost Game 3 against the Hawks. And they have blown out their opponents. They have an average point differential of plus 19, which is insane in the playoffs, especially. Like that's just wild. We saw what they did Game 5 or Game 6 against the Hawks, blew them out by 50. Every game in the Philly series was a blowout, nothing really close. Every game in this Cavs series except Game 1 was a absolute dog race. And then who says they can't continue this with the amount of rest into the finals? What is it? 8 days? June 3rd is
Eight
when the
days.
final starts. Like it's just wild to think about. And just going back, like I never thought the Knicks would be in this position, but shout out to them. Shout out to the city of New York. Shout out Zoran. Knicks are up. I can't wait to see
Hey,
these.
best mayor in the world, man. Hey, Eric Adams was never getting it done like this, bro. And never getting it done like this. Eric Adams never getting it done like this. Andrew Cuomo never getting it done like this. I don't care what Preston said back in January, but hey, Zoran brought the Knicks to the finals.
Absolutely. What was your reaction last night when the Knicks clinched?
It it feels like surreal. Like you were saying, the Knicks growing up have been a laughing stock, for lack of a better word. They have been an embarrassing franchise. They haven't been able to get it done drafting. They still really haven't been able to get it done drafting. They've had a couple of great picks like Deuce McBride, but Leon Rose has come in and he has built this team to be an absolute juggernaut. Just an absolute dominant force of nature. I mean, I've been very critical of them in the past. Probably my biggest miss ever, like from sports take wise, is I hated the Jalen Brunson signing originally, but that's blown up in my face. I didn't like the Mikal Bridges trade. Right now, I'm looking like an idiot. Uh, I actually like the OG trade. Cat trade was like I thought it was pretty good at first, but it everything is culminating right now in good basketball. It's unreal what is happening with the Knicks. And an underrated aspect of it, like I feel like hasn't been talked about enough, is just how much of a difference Mike Brown has brought to this team, like from a mentality standpoint. Like just a year ago, Mike Brown was out of a job, getting fired mid-season by the Sacramento Kings, and now he's coaching a team in the NBA Finals. Like that is so insane to me. Like I don't think people are talking about it enough. How insane that is, and how much of a difference a coach really made. Like all up to Tibbs. He's been a great NBA coach for a large majority of his career, but I felt that he just wasn't the one to get it done with the Knicks. I wasn't certain that Mike Brown would be the one, but right now it looks undeniable. I mean, the way he has them playing, the way is utilizing Cat to get the most out of him offensively and defensively, it's special. It is an awesome brand of basketball, and they're curb stopping teams. Like what else could I say? They are curb stopping teams. I'm looking through like just some of the comps, team comps from this series, and the Knicks beat the Cavs with a plus 20 net rating across the series. Like they held the cat, they had a 99 defensive rating throughout the series. Belt is the only thing that can be used to describe it. This was a ridiculous series from the Knicks. So shout out to them, man. I know you saw the celebrations last night.
Bro, oh my god. Genuinely, I can't think of another franchise that'll ever have a celebration like that. Don't even give me, that's
Maybe
just for
maybe
make
the
the
Sixers.
finals,
Maybe
dude.
I was gonna say maybe the Sixers because we know how Philly gets.
That is true, but Philly's had more recent success in some ways. Not really, actually. I don't really know.
I was gonna
It's
say
kind of
they made
yeah.
they last made the finals 2 years before they last won it more recently than the Knicks, but I still think it'd be similar sentiment.
When was the last time Philly made the finals? Was the last time they won it? 83?
2001? No. They made it
Oh,
2001.
2001. I'm stupid. Yeah, obviously. Damn. Um, I mean, still, like, dude, I mean, there's always been the thing where it's like for the last couple of years when New York's actually been doing good, they've always been talking about, dude, when the Knicks make the finals or win the finals, like, it's gonna be like a bomb got dropped on Seventh Avenue and MSG, and it's insane. But going back to what you said about the Brunson signing, at first it was almost like people said, I don't know about you, I didn't know you at that time, but people said, "Oh, this is an overpay for a guy that we don't know is really proven." He just came off a final or conference finals run with the Mavericks, but um, what the Knicks saw was that when Luka Doncic was injured in that first round series against the Jazz, Brunson stepped up and carried them to a victory then, and then continued his production throughout the playoffs. And then they paid that money, and within 2 months, it felt like it was an underpay because he made an All Star game or he made the All Star team. He brought them back to the playoffs after a year's absence. Took them to the second round. Eventually losing to the Miami Heat, who went to the finals. Then the next season, another All Star, another top four seed, another second round appearance. It just felt like it was going. And then he got that contract extension, and he said, "Nah, I don't. You keep that extra $100 million and build a super team around me. Build another team and a contender around me." And here we are, 2 years later. They're in the NBA Finals. It, not enough can be said about what Jalen Brunson means to this team and the city, and who he is as a player first off, but then more importantly, who he is as a person to allow the team around him in the front office to build a team instead of him saying, "I want to be paid as much money as I can." Because if they pay him that money, Cat's not in New York, OG's not in New York, McHale's not in New York. None of these guys are here, and they're not in this position that they are now. So not enough can be said about Jalen Brunson as a player and a person. Going back to him as a player, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Some people said it could be Cat, but Brunson was undeniably their engine. He's their motor. He's the guy that brings this team to new heights. And I'm happy for him. I'm a big Brunson fan. And a lot of the things can be said about, yes, his defensive qualities are not there at all. But when this matters most, he gets them over the hump. And now they're in the NBA Finals. And you said it, Cat could be the Eastern Conference Finals MVP or Eastern Conference playoffs, whatever you want to call it. To me, he's the most surprising player this playoff run. Before the playoffs started, we talked about the New York Knicks squad and what they could do, and we said Brunson and Cat are the biggest liability or the biggest defensive liability duo in the NBA right now. And what you said about Mike Brown, what he's able to do with this duo, especially Cat. Cat's been amazing offensively. He's been put in a lot of situations where he could thrive. And then defensively, he's not asked to do a lot because the guy likes of OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges are right there around him to help him out. And even when he has been asked to do stuff, he's been able to step up the challenge, which I'm really proud of him to do. And that's really the reason why they're here. You can say all you want about him defensively, but he's really shown you if he focuses on the things that he needs to do, he can probably do a lot better than people think. Um, and I don't know. This team's just super fun to watch. Like the playoffs, it hasn't been a great narrative when people say, "Oh, the NBA playoffs are bored because the top seed just blows them out," which is very clear with what the Knicks are doing. But in the other sense, it's fun to watch. It's good basketball. This is probably the best basketball I've seen out of a team in a long time.
Yeah, especially in the playoffs. And like you were saying, I feel like Cat should have been Eastern Conference Finals MVP, but Brunson is well worth it too. I like that game one comeback. Just everything you were saying, leadership, him being the closer. I mean, he like what Josh Hart said. He is the captain.
Mm-hmm.
And I just as you were talking about it, I I was kind of reflecting on Jalen Brunson, just his career. Obviously, great player at Nova. Came into the league, just kind of slept on. Started getting some juice with the Mavs as a backup point guard, and then when Luka went down in that first round series against the Jazz, I mean, I remember that the Brunson burner series. Like that's what people talked about. That's all his nickname was. Like obviously he still has the Brunson Burner nickname, but that that was all he was at that point. And to think about it now, like he was saying, a lot of people said he was overpaid. I thought he was overpaid. I will admit that that is one of my biggest misses ever. What I critiqued about him is still true. He is a short guard who can't defend, and that's just why I didn't like him. But he's proving to be so much more than that. And it's honestly just the ultimate hats off. It's one of the cooler stories in sports, I'd say. Jalen Brunson being this good and the Knicks being this good, and I like that led me to the question: with him being the captain, with him having the Knicks back in the finals for the first time since 1999, is Jalen Brunson the greatest Knick ever?
Hmm. That's a good question. I feel like I've been kind of thinking about this for the past couple weeks as they've been going through this playoff run and seeing how dominant they are. I'd say if they win the championship, this is the best championship in Knicks history. You're comparing it to three other championships, what Walt Frazier and them. Like, I don't know, dude. Hmm. I'd say Walt for right now is still the Knicks goat, and I feel like you kind of have to respect Ewing in that sense. But Brunson's probably a second or third. But if he wins a championship, I'd say he's the greatest, undeniably, Knick of all time. Even if he doesn't, I'd say if he puts up the kind of fight that we expect New York to put up in the finals, I think he'd still be the goat Knick
Yeah,
player. But if they go out sad as shit, sweep by whoever's in the finals, that's you can't accept that at all. So
I
like,
respect that. I respect that. I'll double back after the finals. We'll have to see how it goes. But
what do you
right
think?
now,
Yeah.
if he wins the finals, I'd say he's the greatest for sure. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Um, he's the king. Like it feels like he's the king of New York right now. I was just talking about it with Preston last night. Like between him and Judge, I was like, Judge is obviously the much better player, respective of sport. But that's Jalen Brunson, man. That's the captain.
Shit,
Like
dude. I
there's a
would. You
bunch
know
of
what?
athletes who I'd say like are better than him at their sport in New York right now. Like I'd say Judge, Soto. I'd say Stewie's better. Like they're all
Yeah.
better at their respective sport. But Jalen Brunson just he has the fans. He has the motion. He has like it feels like he has the world in the palm of his hands right now, and
Who does
it,
if
it's almost become undeniable in a sense.
if he was a championship, expanding this to New York sports, where does he land in the realm of New York goats? Because
I
genuinely, that's
I
up
feel like that's
there.
not a question for me, just because I'm not a New York sports fan. I
We'll
would
ask
love to
Preston
ask
that.
Preston about that, but I personally, it's like I might get so much like crap for this. I might catch so much flack from New York sports fans, but I feel like he would have to be up there with like Cheater, bro. Like
I think
bringing
he
a
would too.
championship to the Knicks, like the Yankees is one thing. That's the bottom line. That's the expectation. And currently, they've been failing at that for a long time. They've been failing the expectations. But for the Knicks to win a championship with the New York Knicks, I don't think people understand how special that would be for Jalen Brunson. How special that'd be for the city. Like that to me, New York is the mecca. New York is a basketball city at its heart.
Hmm.
I've always understood it to be a basketball city, and now that the Knicks are good, it's showing, and it's awesome for the sport. And I just I have a hard time finding that anybody else could impact New York like that. Like if the Yankees won the 2023 World Series against the Dodgers, it was 2023, right, or was it 2024? I think it was
24.
24. But would it have still like would the Yankees have been celebrated like how the Knicks are right now? I
I don't
don't think
think
that's
so.
true. I think New York is a basketball city, as are many cities across America, and I think Brunson has kind of become the face of New York basketball right now.
Yeah, I think Brunson would jump up to. I'd say with the championship, I'd say he's tied second with Eli Manning. Then he goes Jeter, but it's probably close in my opinion. I think that's. I'm not obviously I'm not a New Yorker. I'm not from there. I don't claim to be. I don't want to be claimed to be. Like no disrespect, but like I don't know how that goes. So, but the way that some New York people talk about Eli Manning and all of them, Like I say he's up there as well. Jeter's probably one, and then it probably goes Brunson Manning if he wins a championship.
I'm really trying to I'm really trying to tier it. Like, God, obviously I can't toss anything hockey related in there. I don't think the Mets have had any player that's like of the caliber or as beloved
Jason
in New
Kidd.
York. Yeah, that's just Jason Kidd. Yeah, just
Oh,
not
he
he's
was
not getting
Jersey.
up
He
there.
was Jersey at that point. Never mind.
And he still lost to the Spurs in the finals. But hey, I don't know. I feel like Brunson has to be up there with Jeter. I feel like Preston's gonna say hell no. Like I can already hear it. But it like I think Brunson
I'm
means
looking
so
this
much
up
to the
right
city
now.
right now. Everything
I'm looking
everything
up.
I have seen from the Knicks
Okay,
fan base,
so
everything I've seen from the Knicks, I think Brunson
oh,
is like the face of New York sports.
okay. The New York Post, June 24th, 2025. The greatest. Oh, New York football icons. Hold on, we need to expand this. Okay,
I was gonna say
who?
nobody from the Jets is making over Brunson. Like Joe
Geno
Namath
Smith,
is,
bro.
and
Mark Sanchez.
we're talking about NYC sports, so like let's not we're not bringing in Josh Allen into this conversation. Let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. Does Babe Ruth get a nod?
No, I wouldn't get Babe Ruth a nod.
Jackie Robinson,
Good shout.
Lawrence
It's hard to
Taylor.
compare. It's hard to definitely not Lawrence Taylor, bro. You know what he did off the field? Yeah, enough said.
Yeah.
Enough said. Uh, it's hard to compare people from other eras to this era. Like I know that's what we're trying to do, but especially when it's like as much separation as like Jack, like uh, Babe Ruth and Jalen
Derek
Brunson,
Jeter, or
and
yeah,
much
Jalen
less
Brunson
like
as well.
less Jackie Robinson, and Jalen Brunson. Like that's hard to compare. Also, Jackie just changed the sports world forever, so I don't think anybody ever will come close to Jackie Robinson. Really,
Yeah, I
like
don't think so.
ever. I think it's hard to like reach his impact in anything. He's such an icon. Like, yeah, that's just not worth debating.
Yeah, I mean, this is all resting on the fact that obviously the Knicks win this championship, but
Yeah,
I
they
guess
still have 4 more games. They still have 4 more games, but Jalen Brunson can reach some really special tiers, and
uh,
I'm excited to watch. Uh, Another question that I had, another proposal. I think if the Knicks win the finals, they should parade along with the Larry. They should parade the in-season tournament trophy. Now, like I know that sounds strange for me to say because I'm a Spurs fan. They won it over us. They might win. They might win the finals over us. But I think that'd be cool for the sport. I feel like that would legitimize the in-season tournament, especially if it's a Spurs Knicks finals. Like that would absolutely legitimize the in-season tournament and make people more willing to tune in. And that would make the Knicks the first team to ever quote unquote do the double in the NBA. And
to the
that
double.
I mean, basically they won 2 chips. That's doing the double. Like
Oh,
like come on,
man.
that is something you should boast about, especially if you're in New York. Like on the parade, it doesn't have to be a it doesn't have to say in season tournament champions on the side of the bus too, but you can have the trophy there, you know? It's like when you see like a team win the Prem and win the FA Cup. They're not gonna have like FA Cup champs on the side of their bus. They're gonna have Prem champs, obviously, but you have the trophy there.
What if
Like I
what
think
if
that'd
they
be
already
cool.
did what if they already did the double, being Eastern Conference champions, and then the treble is winning the finals?
See, but then that's it. You have to win your conference on the way to winning the finals.
Yeah, but you don't have to win the finals to win the conference.
What?
You don't have to like you get the trophy.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I get that, but like, I don't think that would be qualified as a treble. That's
Yeah, I
like,
don't think I'm not parading that obviously, but
yeah.
technically
You
they
sh-
won the
I think it would be cool if they
double.
paraded around the in-season tournament trophy as well, because that's a historic achievement. That's the first team to ever win
Yeah,
the in-season tournament and the NBA championship in the same year. I think that would be
absolutely.
awesome. And but on the topic of the in-season tournament, the Knicks are the first team, I believe, to make it out of the first round after after winning the cup.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
y'all got first round whenever y'all won, and then the Bucks got first round whenever they won. So
Hmm.
they kind of broke the curse. And I remember thinking back in when was it, December, when we lost the Cup final, and I was like, at least there's a Cup Finals curse. That means we're at least meant to have a playoff run, like the two teams who had lost it previously, and the Knicks are going to lose in the first round. And here we are. The Spurs are in the conference finals, 2 wins away from the finals right now, but the Knicks are already in the finals, so that doesn't matter. Like clearly, the cup curse isn't a real thing, and
What's funny
I
to
just
me,
think it would be good for the league if they paraded around their trophy.
I remember the discourse around the Knicks after they won the Cup championship, where they won it and then they said we're not going to raise a banner, which two sides of a coin, obviously. In our eyes, we say absolutely celebrate that. You're the Knicks. You haven't won shit since 80 or 73 or something like that. Um, so yeah, you should raise it. Now they're in the finals. But then the
Yeah,
other
now
side
they're
of the
about to win
coin
a
is
championship.
yeah, and the other side of the coin was like they got like they're like, oh yeah, that's not the final goal. This team is destined for a championship. And then right after that, around like the end of December, January into February, there was a lot of negative discourse around this team. Like they were like, Mike Brown needs to go. This team is bad. This team is awful because they were losing a lot of games they shouldn't. They did down to
Yeah.
like sixth in the standings in
Well,
the
I heard
East.
some crazy stuff said about Mikal Bridges. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I participated in that too. I said some crazy stuff about Mikal Bridges too, but sure as hell, he's proven everybody wrong right now. It's like he's shooting
Exactly.
60% from the field on contested threes and contested mid-range jumpers. Like, he's playing out of his mind right now. Like when the Knicks were struggling, you kind of jogged my memory. I like about the banner situation. I was telling Preston, I was like, oh, y'all are struggling because y'all didn't respect the cup. Respect the cup, and the Knicks would start winning. Like, put a banner up. It's like y'all aren't bigger than the cup, and I guess they are bigger than the cup because now they're in the NBA Finals and 4 wins away from winning the championship. So, dang, this is really just like I'm airing out a lot of a lot of my bad takes about the Knicks, but that's what happens when good teams prove you
Eh,
wrong, and the
Dude,
Knicks are kind of the best at proving people wrong right now. It feels like. I mean,
what's
a
so
lot of these
funny?
guys, you go down the list. Obviously, OG's already won, but like Brunson, people say he's too short, couldn't play defense. I was one of those people. Cat, he's always been talented, always been like one of the most talented players on the court at any given moment. The issue has been finding how to utilize him, which has led people to criticize him like crazy in the past. And now that Mike Brown's utilizing him, he's been the second best player in the playoffs.
Hmm.
And Mikal Bridges, people were like, "Why would you trade five first round picks for this guy? He looks useless ever since he's come over to Manhattan." And now he's balling. Like a lot of these guys, Jose Alvarado. We haven't even mentioned him yet this episode. Jose Alvarado has been like counted out his entire career. That's kind of been his story. And look now, he started his season on the Pelicans, and now he's in the finals. Like,
Yeah.
have we ever seen a harder midseason switch up than that?
Yeah. I mean,
Like
what
this
I'm
this
thinking
is
about too.
a true underdog team in every sense of the right. And now going into the finals, I think I'd favor them over both San Antonio and OKC. I think
I
that's
think I would
just
too.
where I'm at.
I think what's really interesting, I've seen a lot of people talk about this, where the Knicks are like they're saying the Knicks, if they make the finals compared to the Thunder, and in some cases the Spurs are inexperienced. But I'm like, against both teams, the Knicks are probably the most experienced team.
Yeah, you can't bring up the experience tag when talking about the Spurs. We just saw the Spurs be out the youngest starting five ever in conference
Yeah,
finals
that's true.
history. Like,
But the Thunder, people are saying, oh, if the Thunder, like a lot of people in the playoffs value experience. I'm a person that values experience a lot. But against the Thunder, the Knicks would still have experience. Like people are just thinking the experience of winning the championship, which yes, the Thunder have experience doing that in just last season. The Knicks don't have experience in the finals as a franchise in 30, 40 years. Or 50 years actually. Sorry. Um, or sorry, winning the championship in 50 years. But like this Knicks team has been together, this core has been together for already 3, 4 years, has been to many, has won many playoff games compared to the Thunder. Who says they're not experienced enough to win this championship?
yeah, and it's obviously it's comparing apples to oranges, but like three of these guys have won national championships together.
Yeah,
It kind of got me sad. I'm not gonna lie. Thinking last night, I was like, damn, Dante should be in New York for this. Granted, there's no chance in hell they're doing this without Karl Anthony Towns, but man, that'd be awesome if Dante was there. I almost bet he shows up for a game. I'm like 100%, no
yeah, that'd
doubt.
be
I bet he
sad.
shows up for
That'd
a
be
finals
so
game,
sad to see him courtside in a boot.
bro. That'd break my heart, man. It already hurt seeing him when the Spurs won in Game 6. When Ant went over, dapped up the Spurs, and when he went to go sit with Dante, that was like, damn. I
Yeah,
don't know.
whatever.
Dante should be living this out right now, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Go
But hey, talk
transitioning
about
to the
this.
Cavs.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I want to talk.
I
Sorry, I
completely
want to talk
forgot
about
about
the
the
Cavs.
Cavs. Yeah,
No. We got to hit on the Cavs because man, what a sorry way to go out. I mean, what about this gives you any hope for their future?
um, literally nothing because the way that I saw this team perform since 7 minutes left in Game One in the fourth quarter, uh, this playoffs is all about who wants it more. The Cavs are probably the 31st team in the world who wanted the championship. Like they were that bad. They just showed absolutely no heart since the middle of the fourth quarter in Game One. Literally no heart.
Yeah,
And I was talking about that. Like the Cavs, for them to win that series, obviously had to win a road game. So that was their chance in Game One to win a road game, being the team that doesn't have home court advantage, and they blew it. First off, um, and then after that, it just feels like they were so like disoriented. And then obviously they were one of the best teams at home as well. They've only lost one game at home. Like we talked about them being home warriors and away losers. Like that's what they were. And then when they got home, they just showed absolutely no heart. Like we're talking
they were
about,
losers everywhere.
yeah, we're
They
talking
were
about
losers.
reaching
It's
the
just
NBA Finals right now, and they just did not show any heart. And I don't know where
yeah,
you
it's
put the
just
blame on them.
beyond that, it's just bad roster construction. And I wanted to talk about the Cavs regardless, but the notifications I just got:
Oh yeah, Kenny Atkinson
James
returning as the head
Harden,
coach.
Kenny Atkinson's returning, and Brian
And
Windhorst said
James,
that
yeah,
they're going to bring back Harden for multiple years. Which, hey, be prepared for some rough basketball in Cleveland for years to come because everybody wants to talk about LeBron riding his farewell tour there. I'm like, why would LeBron want to go there? I'm
yeah, real.
sorry, like I get riding out with Cleveland, bro, but they're not contending. They are just not a group cut out for contending. This is not a roster of players who can contend, and yet they're going to run it back. Which, to me, that's the worst possible pathway. I saw Kenny Beaton talk about last night. He was like, "Oh, what if they package Evan Mobley for Giannis?" And I'm like, that doesn't really move me that much. Just it doesn't. And I I had this take since the Cavs went down 2-0 in the semifinals to the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this take for a while actually, but it's not even that hot. But I don't see any team ever winning a title that is led by Donovan Mitchell, and that looked so right this series. I know he had a great Game 7 performance. I know he put up garbage time stats in Game 4 last night, but man, he's not a playoff performer. He's not somebody who can lead your team. And if the Cavs don't get rid of him this summer, if the Cavs pay him, they're signing their own obituary for the next 10 years of their franchise because it's not working. They need to cut the losses. It's like a toxic relationship in every
Yeah,
aspect of it. Donovan Mitchell, you aren't going to win with him, and James Harden. It looked pretty evident they aren't going to win with. Like no matter how much we love Harden as an ASU legend, it just doesn't look like they're going to win. Jared Allen, he flashed moments a lot, but in this series against the Knicks, just didn't look good. I feel like the only player on the Cavs roster who should be there next season is Evan Mobley.
I
And
agree.
with the news we just got, that's not how it's looking like it's going to be. Like if they go through with the Giannis trade, like Kenny proposed, and trade Evan Mobley, that could be disastrous for their future. It'd be an interesting team to see, but especially with Donovan Mitchell no longer having to be the 1A. But I still just do not believe in this team as it is right now.
Yeah, what you're talking about with that proposed trade of Mobley for Giannis, it's almost like you're trading for essentially the same type of player, all defensive guy, tall, rim runner, maybe a little bit more offensively, but
A lot more offensively.
yeah, a lot more
It's the
offensively.
thing with Giannis is the health at this point in his career.
That is true. But the other thing I want to talk about is you mentioned James Harden possibly resigning, but I want to talk about like just him overall. Like what this does for James Harden's legacy, losing like this. We've had all the discourse about him as a real number one option in the playoffs about not getting over the hump. We've seen his performances in Game Sevens across his career, and performances in other playoff series, whatever, across other points in his career. And then this year, he was asked to be a secondary option and still couldn't get it done. So what kind of like how does that affect his legacy? Because now he's a secondary option on a team who made the conference finals and they got swept, and he could not get anything more than 20 points in the game. Like that
I
probably deteriorates his legacy for me.
I don't think it affects his legacy that much just due to his age. Like I feel like people are overreacting to it. They're like, oh yeah, because of this one series in 2026, this is why Dwayne Wade's better. I'm like, I hate to bring out the age old excuse, but like, where was Wade at this age? Like, what
That
was
is
Wade
true.
doing?
Chicago,
So like,
actually.
yeah, like it's no diss to Wade, like not at all. But uh, I don't know. I just don't think it's that effective. I don't think it's that like obviously the Harden haters, it's going to be a killer, but I think most people don't care about it. I don't think people should care about it.
Yeah.
He obviously could have performed better. He played at a poor level this entire series. He was getting picked on ever since fourth quarter in game one, and it was a detrimental series in every aspect of the game. But personally, I just really don't care. I don't think this takes away from my views on James Harden. I don't think it changes my views on James Harden. Like it's kind of old news at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just looking at one thing real quick. I want to see if he did. Um, I was so waiting last night. I didn't see it, but I was waiting for Dennis Schroeder to post his got swept Instagram post. Cause you know how it was going. It was like every day after
Yeah,
each time lost, it was like 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. He didn't say 0-4, but he was like a like whatever season end. I was just trying to figure it out. You want to hop over to the West real quick,
uh, yeah,
or anything
why
else?
not?
Was that 30
Yeah,
seconds? I think that was 30 seconds. Whatever.
I don't know.
Going to the West and who the Knicks would face off against in the NBA Finals. Possibly one of your San Antonio Spurs or the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we saw you brought to my attention what the NBA Store Online did. Talk me through your thoughts and what's going through your head right now, especially after a BTA in Game 4.
It's not good. It's really not good. I going to sleep last night. I felt so good about this team. I feel like the game plan that we employed in Game Four was probably the best I've seen all series. Just going solo on Shea, not giving up open threes. Like who would have thought, man? Even if they're the worst like some of the worst shooters in the league, if an NBA player is wide open from three, they can always knock down a three. So it was good. The Thunder have obviously been hampered by injuries. I think AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams status will determine the series outcome. But it it kind of changed this morning when I woke up and I saw that NBA.com had already put OKC in the finals. And on top of that, what made it even worse, it made me think like maybe I don't want to be conspiratorial, but maybe some conspiracies were real when I saw that Tony Brothers is repping our game again. Like the worst ref ever that I have seen in my lifetime. Like I know people complain about Scott Foster, like baseball people. It's
Angel
what's his
Hernandez.
name? Angel Hernandez. Yeah. Like I don't think I've seen a ref worse than Tony Brothers. And on top of that, he's a Zionist. But still, regardless, it doesn't feel good. It really doesn't feel good. And I said Thunder in six, and right now that's kind of what I'm feeling. Like everything's going to plan, which makes it even worse because I'm going to Game 6 in San Antonio. So tonight determines a lot. I really want the Spurs to win. I really want the Spurs to have a chance to punch the ticket to the finals with me in attendance. But I'm not that confident, especially with Tony Brothers officiating. Now, I hate the narratives around this series. I hate that it's being shown, made to be a ref show. Like, this isn't one of the best basketball series we've seen, just in general, from a coaching standpoint, from a talent standpoint. I mean, we're watching the two best players in the world go head to head, go band for band, and yet we're talking about some officiating. Like, it's whatever. The only real time I felt the refs have been bad this series was game two with all the Hartenstein holds that were given or weren't given, but it's whatever. That was Tony Brothers too. That doesn't make me feel confident, but at the same time, I don't want to blame the refs if the Spurs lose because that's the bad mentality to have. I mean, there are bad officials, but that's a part of every sport, and they got to win. They got to go in there and they got to win regardless. But I still feel confident that Shea will find out a way to beat this defense. Like, I feel like we haven't heard from Shea yet this series. Like, obviously he's had like a couple of 26, 28-point performances. I forget if he's touched 30 yet this
I
series,
don't think so.
but it hasn't been the greatest series from him. And I feel like at some point he will have his say in this series. It's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. That's who he is. He's that great of a player. We're watching an all-time talent here, regardless of what you want to say about him falling to the ground. Like, God, sorry, I don't want to double back to that, but like, there was another article today put out by Yahoo Sports talking about how many, like, talk about some flop percentage, talk about how many times Shea hits the ground, and that's just, it drives me insane because this should not be the narrative about this series. It should be talking about like who's the best in the world. We should be talking about the coaching adjustments that have been made. We should be talking
Mm-hmm.
about who shouldn't be on these rosters next year, like Keldon Johnson. But yet we're talking about flop percentage. Like, okay, yeah, whatever, man. It's ridiculous. I hate the state of current NBA media. That's kind of my take there.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think
How do you feel about the
I
series?
I think to some extent you can be, I don't know what the realistic about the flop percentages and all that kind of stuff, but if that's the discourse you're trying to find and push narratives for right now, it's not the time to do it. You can do it after the series is done or even after the season is done. But even then, flop percentage is not a big deal in NBA. It's only a big deal because Shea Alexander does it a lot and he's the MVP and all this kind of stuff, and it's quote unquote unethical. Um, but when you really look at the times he falls down, if you look at like a compilation or a highlight reel, whatever, of him falling down, a lot of the times it's not exactly valid or I don't know what the word ethical, but a lot of the time he does get his landing space put into. Sometimes he does slip or whatever it is like that, but he doesn't like complain about anything. He just gets up and goes back on defense. So let's not push his narrative of that kind of stuff, especially in a tied Western Conference Finals like it is right now. This is not
Yeah,
what we need to be doing.
doctors have come out and talked about how beneficial it is for the body to land on your chest, to not land on your ankles, not put more unnecessary pressure on your knees,
Mm-hmm.
landing from a jump shot. And like we've seen athletes do it in the past. Like, this is nothing insanely new that Shea's doing. And like sometimes I don't even think he's like flopping per se. I think that's just how he lands. And
Sometimes I
again,
think too.
like you said, he never complains to the refs. He gets up like everybody else on the Thunder roster complains to the refs, but
Mm-hmm.
Shea. And that's why like I hate the way this narrative has been painted about him as a player.
You can say what you want about the fouls and the free throws and all this kind of stuff, but that is part of the game, and that is part. If you don't foul him, he's gonna score regardless. That's how great of a player Shea Alexander is. People don't understand that. So like, like people don't watch the games and they just say, "Oh, Shea's at the free throw line again." He earned that shit. Like he genuinely earned that foul. He earned those free throws.
Yeah, well, it's like goes back to like the narrative or the joke of, oh, just turned on the game. Of course, Shea is shooting free throws, and like
Uh huh.
that's the issue. You just turned on the game. You haven't been
Yeah.
watching the game. Like, God, it frustrates me because the only people who complain about it, the people who complain about it the most, are people who don't watch basketball, who don't care
Yeah.
about basketball. And frankly, if you don't care, if you don't like that officials are making correct calls, don't watch. And guess
Yeah.
what? you're still going to watch. Even if Shea plays in the finals, when the Thunder win two more games, you're still going to watch the finals, regardless of
Yeah.
Shea's antics, regardless of his quote unquote flops. You're still going to watch. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you complain about it. You complain about the game. You complain about how soft it's gotten, but you will be watching.
Yeah. It's unbelievable to like the narratives and the discourse that people have about it. And it's like I as a Lakers fan who got belted by the Thunder, I still respect the hell out of Shea because I know what I'm watching. I'm watching a great player in his basically his prime at this point, still elevated in his prime. Um, that's what I'm understanding to see. People just don't understand that, and it kind of pisses me off a lot of times. But going back to the actual series itself, it's tied 2-2, and the Game 4 win for the Spurs was absolutely huge. Like, obviously, you can never go down
Monumental.
3-1. Yeah, you can never go down 3-1. Um, and then let's even just talk about, like, going back to Game 1, how good of a performance that was and how important that was. You know, in the moment, we thought, obviously, a team that's the road team, the Spurs in this instance, needs to win at least one game on the road to flip it and to have a chance at winning the series because you need whatever, right? And they did that. That's so huge. But then they went down 2-1. It's almost like they burned out used all their energy in game one, is what people thought. And then game three came out, or game four came out popping. Y'all belted them. But then game five, like, this is going to be, I feel like, another dogfight. I feel like this could be another overtime esque game, like game one was, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, just like game one, it's 0-0 in the series right now. It's a best of three
Yeah.
series. This is essentially game one of a whole new series. And right now, there's a lot going through my head about how this could play out. I do think if J Dub plays, we'll have a big factor on this game. I feel like AJ Mitchell's probably going to be out for a while. He has a calf strain. I feel like people aren't talking about that enough. Some people are like, oh, maybe AJ Mitchell comes back, and I'm like, I don't think the Thunder should probably bring AJ Mitchell back for the rest of the season. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, unless they get to like a really serious game in the finals, maybe you risk it, but that's terrifying. You don't want to see that for a player as young as AJ Mitchell. Uh, with J Dub, like these hamstring issues are nasty, man. Like when Harper went down with a hamstring injury
Yeah,
in
that was
game two,
big.
we thought it was a hamstring injury. It ended up being an abductor injury, but I was about to say shut him down for the season. Like you don't want to play about that with somebody that young. And with J Dub, this has been something that has been nagging him for just
The
the
entire
greater
season.
majority of this season, basically. Like obviously he came into the season hurt because of the hand surgery he had playing through a torn ligament in the finals, and that shows like how bad of an injury a hamstring is, like how bad it is messing him up that he's been hurt and missing games now. Like I think this is the third time he's had to sit out because of
Mm-hmm.
it. Like that is scary. You don't want to play around with that. So I don't know. I'm seeing some Thunder fans say to just throw him out there onto the court, let like this is a championship play for it, and I don't like that mentality, but I understand what they're saying and the fact that this team was so good in the regular season. This team has been so good in the playoffs. You cannot miss out on winning the finals here. If you miss out on winning the finals here, you're going to look back on it 10 years down the road and be like, dang. Like, even if you win two more, you're going to be like, damn, this team should have won.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that. Championship opportunities in the NBA and any professional sport are so few and far between. I get why you would want him to play, but I feel like they're showing a bit like they're not showing care for J Dub the person. Like everything
Yeah.
I've seen from his social media, like ever since he got that injury, he took everything off his social medias. He wiped them, and he's like one of the cooler guys in the league. I'd say, like just with everything he does on socials, his personality, and like he looks like he's going through it. Like people are making fun of him for that, making fun of him like saying, "Oh, he's acting like a teenager." But like this is a serious injury. This is a chance for him to go back to back winning championships, and yet this is the third time he's dealing with the same injury, man. Like I feel for J Dub, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting why, like, the discourse that I'm using discourse a lot this episode, or like the things that they're pushing against him, because just in the last series, the reason why they swept, probably the big reason why they beat the Lakers was because Luka Doncic was dealing with damn near the exact same injury. So it's weird how they're pushing this narrative on their player of, oh, they need to push him back. When they were just saying in the last series, nah, Luca, you can stay injured, you can stay hurt, you can stay hurt. It's so weird to me. But then just speaking on injuries on the Spurs side, obviously De'Aaron Fox is out for games 1 and 2, and I remember before game 2 you asked me the question about like what do you do with Fox now that he's back almost basically, and I was like you should probably play him a little bit in game 2 just to get some legs underneath him. Y'all didn't. Harper got injured too, and then game 3 came out. Both were a little cold and iffy, and then game 4 they were, legs underneath them, played well. And the turnovers were down. But I'm thinking back now to game 2 where I was like, y'all should have gave Fox a little bit of legs underneath him. And you didn't. And then game 3 was a different story where y'all got beat. So I'm thinking of maybe the Thunder should do that a little bit with J Dub to get a little bit more legs underneath him before they play him in a future game of the series or even the finals. But it's tough to say with the hamstring injury. Obviously,
But
Fox's injury and
yeah,
Harper's were a little bit different.
the thing is, like, De'Aaron is still going through a lot of pain. Like
Yeah.
that it feels obvious in the way he's playing. That high ankle sprain. I mean, we saw people were calling it a dirty play on Dort. I like it's whatever. I don't really think that was a dirty play. Like I do think Dort has his fair share of dirty plays, but I don't think that was one of them. Like when he was diving for that ball against
Yeah.
Fox, I think that was just more of an accident. But he looks uncomfortable out there, and it's really just as a fan, it makes me admire him so much. Makes me admire Dylan Harper so much that they're out there playing through these injuries because without them, we wouldn't have a chance in this series. And right now it's 2-2. But I hate the injuries are having to affect this series, this all time great series. But as it stands right now, the Thunder need one of J Dub or AJ Mitchell to play.
Absolutely.
And if neither of them play, then all the pressure in the world is on Jared McCain to step up because last game he was not cutting it. He shot like 1 for 10, had like 4 points,
Mm-hmm.
and just couldn't create his own shot. Now the thing with Jared McCain is he's never going to go down without a fight. He gets a look he likes. He's going to take the shot. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care the situation. He doesn't care the scenario, and I think that's good to an extent. Like every team kind of needs one of those guys to an extent, but it can be to a massive detriment at times, and that was what happened in Game 4. Now, ever since the Spurs stopped doubling Shea in Game 4, like the Thunder offense just did not look as good, and Shea was having to create every look with no AJ and with no Dub. It just it did not look good at all. And I think that shows Shea's importance to this team. I think that shows Dub's importance to this team. I think that shows AJ Mitchell's importance to this team. And without them, it's rough. I'd say it's rough, as is any team missing two guards. Like we were missing two guards in Game 2, turning the ball over about 25 times. Now look at Game 4 when we had our two guards and the Thunder were missing their two guards. We won the turnover battle, which is a crazy thing to
Mm-hmm.
say against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like that is crazy to say against a team of this caliber, and yet the Spurs did it. But I still feel good about the Thunder winning this series, regardless of that. I don't think Caruso shoots as bad as he did in Game 4 again. I don't think Jay Will shoots as bad as he did in Game 4 again. I mean, that Game 3 from all of them was ridiculous. I imagine McCain will be better at home. As is
Mm-hmm.
this age-old saying, role players always shoot better at home. So I'm expecting the Thunder to come out firing tonight. They're going to play with their backs against the wall, and I I feel like they're going to win at home.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think even if one of AJ or J doesn't play, I think we're getting game 5 tonight. I think we're gonna get an all-time shape performance, and then game 6 or 7, I think it's gonna be one of those two. If they don't close out game 6, it's gonna be another game 7 shape performance. I don't see a world where Shea, in my opinion, still the best player in the world, especially what he does with the ball on offense. I don't think there's a world where he lets this go past him. I don't. I don't think this is like the year where they slip up. Um, and we're like you said before, we're still due for that, 35, 40 point game from Shea. And I think we get two for the remainder of the series, which is what they need for them to win. So I think he knows what's at stake. I think Mark Dagnall especially knows what's at stake with his team, and I think I trust him a lot with what he's done as a coach, who we know him as a coach as. I trust him to figure out a way to win, no matter who's on the court for him. Like that's the bottom line too. Like even if J Dub or AJ doesn't play, I feel like I trust him enough to find a way to at least be competitive in this game, especially in Game 6. I'm just excited. Like these are going to be dogfights. I don't think it's going to be pretty basketball by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's going to be dogfights, and I think it's going to be good basketball in the sense it's going to be hella competitive, like insanely competitive, which has already been. But I don't think it's going to be good basketball. I think it's going to be pretty sloppy at times. I mean, the turnover margin has been, or the turnovers for both teams have been insane. What you guys had 21 in game 2, like 20 in game 1. Like the Thunder haven't been good at keeping possession of the ball too. I think it's gonna be sloppy at times, but I'm excited. It's gonna be is exactly what we wanted as fans. Competition in the Western Conference Finals, the two best teams going at it. I'm excited. Like I'm
Yeah,
just excited.
I feel like these next 2 or 3 games might just define basketball for the next decade. I think they're so huge. It is a great time to be living as a basketball fan. It very nervous time to be living as a Spurs fan. I can't lie. This series has had me all over the place emotionally. A lot of ups and downs, but it should be interesting. Like we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I forgot to mention this earlier. On a personal note, I am because I'm my summer trip are going to like the East Coast and the New England area. Bro, I cannot wait till I get to Boston where I get to alternate my Lakers and Knicks jerseys if they win the finals, dude. Oh my god, I'm gonna have a field day with that. Oh, and
yeah.
I
Like,
even have this.
what in the Joao Laura, bro? Like what
Yo, I
in the
don't
what?
care. I have this old hat too, bro. That I got. That. What if I just rock out in Boston with the Yankees? Why do I look like that? What the hell?
You got
Oh,
Tim's too.
nah, I ain't that performative.
All right. I I don't know. I just that is the most shout out Joao, man, beloved member of the lower bowl. But but yeah, that is the most Joao Laura statement
I don't
ever
care.
made.
I don't care. At least the
Yeah,
Lakers isn't really.
I yeah,
At least the
Lakers is
Lakers.
fair. Lakers is fair. Knicks, that's you might be pushing it.
Well, because I'm going on the trip while the finals are playing, so I'm gonna have my Knicks jersey no matter what. Because I'm gonna be walking at least one of those jerseys. I'm for damn sure not wearing a Thunder jersey, and I don't have a Spurs jersey. So
You're not wearing your Russ jersey.
I don't know. I'll bring it maybe. Maybe we'll see. That
Fair.
is a fire jersey, but it's a little small on me. It's like a youth XL.
How the hell do you fit into that? That's
Oh, I don't. It's like a big jersey too. I got it in. When did I get it? It was on sale for Fanatics. I sniped it one day. It was like $20. Like I probably look at it right now. Let's look. Hold on. Let me check this real quick. I just broke my closet door. Awesome. Let's see. Yeah, look. XL. For damn sure it's not a men's XL.
yeah.
Because look at this.
It's a big youth XL. I will say that looks
Oh,
like
it
a
is a
big
big
youth
ass youth
XL.
XL. It's probably like a men's small, if anything. Made in Vietnam, but yeah, whichever one. I don't know. But I cannot wait till I go to Boston because I'm just gonna clown everybody there.
I I can't hate if you wear a Knicks jersey, but I can't hate if you wear a Lakers jersey.
Yeah,
That's
fair.
the bottom line.
Anyways, whatever it is, the NBA Finals is gonna be so fire. June 3rd they start. We'll be back when the Knicks find out who they're playing. The Spurs or Thunder in a couple days. Hopefully, it's not when you're there.
Yeah, I don't know. Tonight's a big night.
Are you going to be a member of the? Are you going to be a member of from the nosebleeds or the lower bowl when you go?
Oh, fun the nosebleeds, bro. You know how expensive the tickets are to sit lower bowl. It's not New York pricing, but I will be FTNB to the max. Let's just say that.
All right. Whatever it is, let's see if you can get content. But for now, from the nosebleeds, as always, I'm excited to see what happens. Any final thoughts, Zach?
Uh, I'm again, I'm still rocking with my take of Thunder and Six, but it's always go Spurs go.
Yeah, go Spurs, go. Obviously, I'll be rooting for the Knicks in the finals no matter what. But we appreciate our support. We'll see y'all on the flip side whenever we figure out what's going to be next. But as always, stay tuned in. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Not really, but YouTube, obviously, all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm Phil I'm Cole Frere. That's Zach Drowsy. Still don't know which way he is. We'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.